Imagine buying an area twice the size of Texas for just 2 cents an acre. On March 30th, 1867, the United States did exactly that. They paid Russia $7.2 million for a frozen wilderness everyone called Seward's Folly or Seward's icebox. Today, that same land is worth hundreds of billions. This is the incredible true story of how America got the bargain of the century. 025 to 130. Setting the scene. It's late evening, March 29th, 1867, in Washington, D.C. Secretary of State William Henry Seward is at home playing cards with his family when a knock comes at the door. Baron Eduard de Stuckel, the Russian ambassador, has urgent news from Tsar Alexander II. Russia wants to sell its huge colony in North America, Russian America, what we now call Alaska. Seward doesn't hesitate. He says, "Why wait until tomorrow?" He summons clerks, lights lamps in the State Department, and the two men begin intense negotiations that last all night. At 4 a.m. on March 30th, 1867, they finally sign the Treaty of Cession. The price, $7.2 million in gold, roughly 2 cents per acre for 586,412 square miles of land. 130 to 330. Why Russia wanted to sell. Russia had owned Alaska since the 1740s. Their fur traders made huge profits hunting sea otters, but by the 1860s the fur trade was dying. The colony was expensive to run, hard to defend, and thousands of miles from Moscow. Russia had just lost the Crimean War and was deep in debt. Tsar Alexander II feared that if war broke out with Britain again, the British in Canada would simply seize Alaska, and Russia couldn't stop them. Selling it to the friendly United States for cash made perfect sense. 330 to 530. Seward's vision versus public backlash. Seward was a strong believer in manifest destiny. He saw Alaska as a strategic gateway to Asia, full of untapped resources and a way to expand American power across the Pacific. But most Americans hated the idea. Newspapers called it Seward's Folly, Seward's icebox, while Russia, and Andrew Johnson's polar bear garden. They pictured a useless land of ice, snow, and polar bears, a total waste of money. Even though the Senate ratified the treaty quickly, 37 to 2 on April 9th, the House of Representatives refused to release the money for over a year. They only approved payment in July 1868, partly because they disliked President Andrew Johnson. 530 to 7. The official transfer. On October 18, 1867, in the town of Sitka, then called New Archangel, Russian and American soldiers stood together. The Russian flag was lowered for the last time. The American stars and stripes rose in its place. Alaska officially became U.S. territory. Most Russian settlers left soon after. The indigenous peoples, Aleut, Tlingit, Inuit, and others, who had lived there for thousands of years, suddenly found themselves under a new government. 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock, from folly to fortune. For the next 30 years, Alaska stayed quiet and sparsely populated. Then, in 1896 to 1897, the Klondike Gold Rush exploded. Tens of thousands of prospectors rushed north. Gold, followed later by massive oil fields, copper, timber, salmon fisheries, and tourism, poured wealth into America. Today, Alaska is the largest U.S. state by area. It produces billions in oil, minerals, and seafood every year. Its strategic location near Russia and the Arctic makes it vital for national defense. That $7.2 million, about $132 to $150 million in today's money, is now considered one of the greatest real estate deals in world history, often compared to the Louisiana Purchase. William Seward died in 1872, never seeing how right he was, but history has completely vindicated him. 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock, conclusion and call to action. So the next time someone calls a big decision folly, remember Alaska. Sometimes what looks like a stupid mistake today becomes the smartest move in history. The United States literally doubled its size overnight for pocket change. If you enjoyed this quick history story, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications.